Tell us what stood out for you from the briefing and what's currently happening there.
Elvis, good morning. Well, it was a different scene today compared to the one that we saw yesterday. The family of Reshall Jimmy today held their own press briefing to give us basically their response to yesterday's press briefing that the National Consumer Commission, together with Ford, where they made the announcement about that safety recall that they'll be doing. Of course, we know already that they'll be doing a safety recall in two parts, and they've recalled at least more than 4,000 vehicles, and they've asked them, all the vehicle owners, to bring those vehicles back to the dealers so that they can be inspected. The Jimmy family seems to be very unsatisfied with this action. The sister said during the press briefing that this is no similar to what Ford has been asking the owners to be doing in December, which is basically to take your vehicle in and for it to be inspected. And she also quite explosively told us about how she was mistreated by the National Consumer Commission and how they just generally were not happy about how the National Consumer Commission subsequently dealt with this issue. But I have with me the spokesperson of the National Consumer Commission, Mr. Trevor Hatting, to find out from him what the story was and what happened that led up to the events that made the Jimmy family so unhappy. Mr. Hatting, thank you very much for your time. Ms. Jimmy mentioned some very unsavory things about how they were treated as the National Consumer Commission. Some of the things related to how they had to be escorted out of the building at your direction, I believe. Is this all true?
Let me just quickly clarify what happened there. I was contacted in the morning by reception and informed that there were people on the premises that were taking footage of the buildings and they were busy breaching security. And they informed me also that these people informed them that I gave authorization for the cameras to be allowed onto the premises. I had no such knowledge, and I told them that no, I don't know who these people are. Could you please find out for me what their business here is? And I can assure you that there's no appointment that I have with anyone for today, because I was busy preparing for the press briefing of yesterday. Security then got back to me afterwards and insisted and said that they insist that you authorized all of this, and I said no, I don't know what your security protocols dictate to you, but no, I never gave anyone authorization. At the end of the day, this was going to get me into trouble for allowing people onto the premises and giving them authorization to film things in a security enclosed environment. So that is basically what happened. Later on, subsequent to that, I received a phone call from the attorney who acts on behalf of the Jimmy family, and he then told me that, listen, it's me, I'm here and I have some media with me. And I said, but you know that it's unethical to bring media onto the premises when you come and submit a complaint of this kind. You should not be doing that, firstly. And secondly, do you have an appointment to come and see me? And he said he said he has an appointment with me. I have absolutely no appointment. I had no appointment with him. And I told him that I don't have an appointment with you. I'm busy finalizing my media briefing and all the arrangements for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer you to the relevant division within the Consumer Commission to assist you. And then senior legal guys went down, they went and assisted them, they took the complaints, processed them, and advised them further insofar as what to do. What has also happened is, and where this all actually started was around December, when this matter started gaining traction in the media. I received a call from the Reshall Jimmy, that's the name, yeah. I received a call from Reshall Jimmy, who asked a whole lot of things from me insofar as the process of the commission, the assistance we can provide, and all of those legal things. And I then guided her very well. I guided her, I assisted her with information, and I asked her to please lodge the complaint with us. At the time, they never lodged the complaint with us. In fact, I was hot on it that, you know what, this sounds like something very big that we can run with. And she contacted me and I told her what to do. But they never came forward to us with the matter. But I also understand, because there's looming litigation, and I do understand. And it's also because of that looming litigation that ourselves as the Commission have to be neutral, because whatever we say, whatever we do, or in particularly what we say, can jeopardize the case, their case, and we do not want to influence their case in a positive or negative way in any way whatsoever. We need to act neutral in this. So basically it seems like it's a very clear misunderstanding insofar as security is concerned, and also the fact that they never regarded business decorum of making an appointment to come and see, and even at that appointment I was going to ensure that I have the relevant people present at that meeting to assist them.
Two more questions. Have you subsequently blocked the Jimmy family's phone numbers? And another thing, during the press briefing you mentioned the issue of limited resources within the National Consumer Commission. Is this an issue, and just how much short are you as the National Consumer Commission to deal with cases such as this? You have more than 50 vehicles and more than 4,000 other complaints that are still probably would come. Are you adequately resourced, and if not, by how much? What would you need?
You see, this is quite a big matter, and I do believe that if things get to a point whereby it is a matter that really needs serious attention, we will speak to the relevant department, the Department of Trade and Industry, to request assistance. But you know, we, like any other business or any organization, we have an operational budget that we operate on, and it is one can never say that it's enough. Things change in society, trends change in society, the number of complaints change all the time. It's never ever the same. The issues are never the same. So it is difficult for me to actually compound and say that we need another 50 of this or another 20 of that. But I do believe that if needs be, we can knock on the door of the Department of Trade and Industry to assist us insofar as budget is concerned, and assist us insofar as other resources is concerned, to ensure that we get the matter to rest and assist the consumer as best as we can.
Before I let you go, have you blocked Ms. Renish's number?
No, I did not block Ms. Renish's number. What I did was I referred her to the relevant people within the Consumer Commission. After that, she started to what I can call harass me all the time. She wanted to know information about Ford. I don't work for Ford. I don't have information about Ford. What I did simply was I stopped responding to her, because now there's looming litigation, and whatever I say could jeopardize their case or prejudice the matter in a positive or a negative way, and I did not want to get into that space. So I couldn't respond to her any further, because it was then beyond my mandate as a media person. It then became legal. So I referred it to the relevant people, and I can't speak for legal. I'm not a lawyer, so I had to refer the matter to the relevant people. She did not want to take the matter up with the relevant people, and she kept harassing me, and unfortunately I could not speak further because it was something that was outside of my mandate as a media liaison officer.
And just lastly, I promise this is the last question. A lot of people are quite unsatisfied about what Ford did yesterday, or their explanation regarding the recall. A lot of people, when you troll along the media sites, your Twitter, your Facebook, a lot of people are talking about the issue of the refund and returning back the vehicles. Does the NCC hold the power to force Ford to do a complete recall and refund people?
You see, and I need to be very, very clear about this. What is going to happen is there's a number of cases that we received yesterday from the Jimmy family. We received a number of cases from them, and we have to assess those cases. And what I can tell you is, only once we've assessed those cases, and let's say an investigation is recommended, and we have findings from that investigation and recommendations that recommend that yes, the following step has to be taken. People need to be refunded. People need to be certain parts need to be replaced, or whatever the remedy is. But the investigation will point us in the right direction, and that investigation will depend. The information or the findings of that and the recommendations will depend on what we find in terms of the merits of these cases that have been lodged with us. So I can't at this point in time say that yes, we can. But what I can tell you is, if it gets to a point whereby the recommendation says that there has to be recourse in the form of a refund or whatever the case might be, and that goes to court and it's endorsed by the tribunal or by a court, then yes, that is what's going to happen.
Mr. Hutton, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Well, Elvis, you have heard it from the spokesperson of the National Consumer Commission. As I said earlier on, there were pointing of fingers this morning at the briefing. The Jimmy family saying they got no joy from the National Consumer Commission. The National Consumer Commission spokesperson, as you've just heard, saying that he was doing what he is mandated to do as a spokesperson, and within the recourse or the rebounds of his job. We will be speaking speaking to the Jimmy family in our next crossing, which will be around 12 o'clock on SABC Channel 44 here. We will ask Ms. Renisha about her claims about her being unsatisfied with the answers that the National Consumer Commission gave, and as well as the Ford steps that have been taken. We'll find out from the Jimmy family about what exactly they'd like to see happen.
Thank you. That's our reporter Diabo Setho coming to us live. Now, yesterday, as you know, Ford announced that they will recall a number of vehicles on the road. They will take that step in making sure that people do not lose. In fact, that the other close to 50 of the vehicles that caught fire, that more of that doesn't happen. The president and the CEO of Ford South Africa, Jeff Nemeth, say that the investigation has enabled them to reduce the number from the initially stated 6,300 cars affected to 4,000, just over 4,000 now.